Hello and welcome to our second live Facebook update, Facebook Live update with Dr. Davis. As the days go on, I get a little more jumbled up sometimes when I talk, but we appreciate you joining us. It is so important to stay connected right now. I was thinking about that last night, Dr. Davis, when we were going through the notes, and how every person you talk to, the professionals, and you're a counselor by trade, they talk about how important, even though we are physically not connected, how important it is to stay connected in some form or fashion. So I really appreciated this opportunity and thought how important, even if we don't have a ton of new information to share, I think it is helpful, or at least I hope it's helpful for our folks at home watching us.
So do I.
We are again recording this so we can share it on our other platforms, including R2TV. After it's over, please make sure on Facebook you share it with your family and friends. You did a great job last time. We had over 3,000 views to our Facebook Live video last week. It is hopefully useful information. Of course, it does get dated fairly quickly, but always, once you watch it, go back and check our website, richland2.org, for any more updates. Again, just like last time, Dr. Davis will share the updates that we have for you today, and then we will get to your questions. We probably won't be able to get to all the questions. We probably won't know the answers to all the questions, but we are going to look at them and make sure that we work on getting answers for you if we can't answer them today. So now I'm going to let Dr. Davis take it away with our updates.
Thank you, Libby. And good afternoon to the Richland 2 family. We're so appreciative that you've taken time out of your busy day to spend a little bit with us for us to provide you with some important information, but also just an ability for us to continue to connect with our Richland 2 family in as many creative ways and formats that's possible to us. And so this is our second Facebook Live chat with you all, and we're looking forward to hearing some of your questions or reading some of your questions. But there's some information that I'd like to share with you all. And first thing I want to start out with today is to take a few moments to pause and show appreciation to our assistant principals. This week is National Assistant Principal Appreciation Week. And so we just want to take an opportunity to say thank you to all of our assistant principals for all the hard work that you all put in, all the premier work that you do for our district, and ensuring that our students are receiving premier educational experiences. You play a vital role in our school's success by being supportive roles to our principals, but also to our parents and to our students most importantly. So you are indeed valued partners of Richland School District 2, and we wanted to take an opportunity just to say thank you and that we appreciate you. I ask that if you have a favorite assistant principal, or if there's an assistant principal that you want to give a shout out to, that you go to Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and shout out your assistant principal for all that he or she does to ensure that your students are experiencing a premier education here in Richland School District 2. The second thing I want to say is thank you to all of our elementary parents, teachers, and staff for a very smooth Chromebook distribution, I should say. We pivoted, as you all know, and we issued Chromebooks for grades 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so I just want to say thank you to our staff, to our teachers, to our administrators, to our technology team, all those individuals, our TLCs, who were very instrumental in making sure that we had successful distribution of those Chromebooks. I believe we did over 7,000 or 8,000 Chromebook distributions in a matter of a couple of days. Thank you to our parents for being flexible and working with us and scheduling, coming at the appropriate times, and also scheduling appropriate times to come and pick up those Chromebooks for those of you who were not able to pick them up in the first distribution. We are continuing to reach out to those families who have not received Chromebooks. There are very few. But if you have not received a Chromebook, please reach out to us and let us know so we can make sure that we try to make some sort of connection with you all so that your second, third, fourth, or fifth grader has a Chromebook. If you don't need one and you have one device already in the home, then you should be fine. But if you do, please let us know. Also, a big shout out and thanks to the employees for making sure that we can provide essential services to our students. We have many employees who cannot provide the essential responsibilities for their work from home. They actually physically still have to come to our buildings, to several locations. We have minimized who is allowed to come to the office and who is allowed to work. However, there are some important individuals who, unfortunately, they have to come in. And so we're so very thankful for those frontline individuals. Those are our bus drivers who spend many hours driving and making sure that our students are receiving nutritious meals throughout the day. Those contracted services that we have with our partners like with Sodexo. Even our school security officers who are ensuring that our buildings are safe and secure. And while we do have some staff in the buildings, they're here with them to ensure that they are safe and secure as well. To the number of the number of teachers and administrators, support staff who come in to ensure that things are being taken care of, whether it's periodically, whether it's every day. We are working very hard to continue to reduce our staff as we are under a new stay work or home order, but we want to make sure that the essential responsibilities of the districts continue to be met and that our students are continuing to receive that premier educational experience that we all strive to provide for them. But I do want to take my hat off and take a moment to say thank you. Those are two important words and they're not often shared enough, but we want to continue to say thank you. Thank you for all that you do for our students here in our district, and thank you for being a vital part of our community. Another update I'd like to share in this open remarks is just you probably have seen, for those our teachers that are watching, our administrators and our faculty, parents and community members, an announcement made by the University of South Carolina about the Superintendent-In-Residency program. It is indeed an honor to be selected as Superintendent-In-Residence for the University of South Carolina. I can assure you that that responsibility would not take away from our responsibilities here in Richland School District 2. I did have a question about whether or not it requires that I take some sort of sabbatical or leave, and it does not. It is. I'll be spending some time with the university after hours, providing them with some consulting as it relates to providing education opportunities for training opportunities for aspiring assistant principals, and superintendents. It's a lot, I should say it's an important piece of work, because we're not just here to just make sure that all the students in our school district have strong leaders, but we want to ensure that across the state we're producing outstanding leaders, leaders who are focused on what's best for our students and what's best for the students in South Carolina. So I'm thrilled and excited about the opportunity to partner and work with the university, and it also gives us an opportunity to have some access to some information and things as well. And so I'm looking forward to that partnership and that opportunity. So thank you for all the well wishes, but I just wanted to share with our community that no, it does not require that I leave or that I am leaving. I'm not going anywhere, and I just wanted to make sure that you all are fully aware of that. But I am still going to be 100% committed to our district and committed. My accessibility level would not decrease as this responsibility, as I take on this additional role for our community and for our state. So I want to provide you with some information as relates to grades and give you some updates. I know that's been a hot topic, and I know we all been paying attention to what information we've received from the State Department of Education. I just want to let you know that the Richland 2 academic plan is complete, and that plan is based on guidance from the State Department of Education. Parents, you will be receiving emails from your principals with details this week. Now, the plans do vary. They're not the same for elementary, middle, and high, so there are some variations to the plan. There is an elementary plan, there's a plan for middle, and there's also a plan for high school. So please pay attention to those the differences, particularly if you have students at multiple grade levels. For our students, the e-learning and remote learning does count. There's been some questions about whether or not this work will count. It does count toward the completion of the school year. And so it's important that you take an opportunity to ensure that you complete the assignments that have been assigned to you. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But I do want to dispel any concerns or address any concerns about whether or not this is just work that has no meaning. It does have meaning. Our goal is to prepare you for the next grade level. But also we want to practice some good common sense as it relates to the different situations and conditions that different families may be facing. And again, I'll talk about that a little later. But I do want to make sure that, so parents, if you're watching, students, if you're watching, we want you to understand that the e-learning remote learning has, it does count, it does have purpose, and so we need you to give it your all as best as you can. Students and families, we want you to know that we also will be observing our spring break. We've decided not to cancel spring break. I think students need a break, and our parents who are teaching our students at home, our teachers along with their families, we need an opportunity to break for a while. So we will be observing our traditional spring break from April 10th to April 17th. And the e-learning and remote learning will continue after spring break starting on April the 20th. So for our students, as it relates to grades, it's important for our students, as I said earlier, to complete their assignments. Our teachers, more than anyone, I think, understand and know it is important for us to be flexible and be considerate of each family's unique circumstances and situations. And so we will exercise flexibility and grace, but we are asking that we take this work seriously and that we do complete the assignments, but we will definitely exercise flexibility. So if a family's current situation, circumstances are impacting your student's ability to complete the e-learning assignments, please reach out to one of your student's teachers or to his or her counselor immediately and let us know what challenges you are experiencing. And so that we can be of better service to you in these uncertain times. We want to make sure that our students are, as I always say, having a premier educational experience, but we want to make sure we're doing that with some good common sense and good practices. So your feedback will be important to us and letting us know what challenges or circumstances that may exist that we have not accounted for. Report cards. There's been some questions about report cards, and so even in the guidance that's been shared by the State Department of Education, we want to remind you that report cards will not be issued for the third 9 weeks, so there will not be a report card for the third 9 weeks. So what will happen is the third 9 weeks grade is now considered an interim report on the student's performance through the midpoint of the second semester. So the third 9 weeks is now going to be considered like an interim report during the second part of the school year, the second semester. So the third and fourth 9 weeks will count as one grading period for second semester. All right, so we won't have a separate third and fourth 9 weeks and then combine them. We're just going to go ahead and combine them now and just have a second semester grade for our students. And then I think I shared this last week, that second semester grade would then be, if it's a year-long course, would then be averaged with that first semester grade. Middle and high school students, when final grades are calculated for the second semester, there will be no separate grades for the third 9 weeks and no separate grades for the fourth 9 weeks. Again, there will be no separate grades for the third or the fourth 9 weeks. There will be one semester grade. Our elementary students will not receive a traditional numerical or letter grade for the second semester. So all of our elementary students will not receive a traditional numerical or letter grade for the second semester. So parents, we ask that you see the emails that will be coming from your principals with more information. This information will be added to our e-learning page on our website. Now, we'll provide you with a little bit of update about meals. As you know, one thing that we have continued to try to do is to make sure that our students are receiving nutritious meals during the COVID-19 absence period that we are experiencing. And so one of our responsibilities that we have taken on is to make sure that we're continuing to feed those students, as many districts across the state and across the country have done also. There is going to be no changes through April 6th at our school sites and community sites as far as the distribution of those nutritious meals. But we want to make an effort to provide food over spring break. So on Friday, April the 10th, which is the Friday prior to the start of spring break, Friday, April the 10th, 5 lunches per child will be given out from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at our school sites listed on our webpage, on our websites. So now, as you know, we've gone out and distributed some food as well. but we're during this day on that Friday, we'll only be at those physical location sites. We won't be bringing the food out into communities. You're going to have to come in and get the food. But on that Friday prior to the start of spring break, we're going to give each child 5 meals to last them last them through the spring break period. So 5 lunches per child will be given out from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the school sites listed on our webpage. The meal distribution sites then will be closed from April 13th through April 16th. So from April 13th to April 16th, which is our observance of spring break, our meal sites will be closed. Now that's Monday through Thursday. So then on that following Friday, the 17th, we will do the exact same thing that we did on the 10th. On the 17th, which is the last day of our spring break, 5 lunches per child will be given out from 10 a.m. again from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the school sites listed on our web page. So please visit that web page for those school sites if you are in need of meals during the spring break. The meal distribution sites will then be closed again from April 20th through April 24th. And so you may be asking the question, well, why are we doing that, right? And the reason being, we are trying to give an attempt to give our employees, our bus drivers, those individuals who are responsible for going to the school and making sure that the meals are prepared and distributed, those individuals who are responsible for supervising that, who's been doing that every day since we've gotten out of school. We're trying to give them an attempt to stay at home as our social distancing rules continue to become more strict. So we want to give them an opportunity to spend some time at home and also reduce their access and entry into the buildings as well. So we ask that you be flexible and understand this, but we also want to continue to provide nutritious meals for our students. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us so that we can address those questions for you. So we've had several questions related to refunds of field trips and field studies. Parents have been calling and asking those questions, and they've all been great questions. And so in anticipation of a large number of refunds and requests, because as you know, we've canceled for the remainder of the year, we've canceled field trips and field studies for the remainder of the year. So we need to then have a process in place to refund our parents and our students their money. So in anticipation of a large number of refund requests, our finance department has set up a streamlined refund request process using an online refund request form. To access this form, parents should log into Parent Portal and click on Student Fees. And from there, click on Refund Requests under New Items. So again, we're asking that our parents go to Parent Portal and click on Student Fees. And from there, they will click on Refund Request Form. Now, for some reason, if you're having difficulties, again, just reach out to us, reach out to the schools, reach out to the hotline, send us an email. We will help connect you and get you set up so that if you have a refund that you are due, that we make sure that we get that refund to you, that we get your request processed so that we can get that refund to you. The refund information has been posted to our frequently asked questions on our website. So don't try to take down notes so you don't have to necessarily go back and review this recording. You have an opportunity to go to our frequently asked questions, which is on our website. And if you've never been there to the frequently asked questions or our FAQs, you just simply go to our homepage on our website and scroll down until you see the green button that says click here for FAQs. And then there, the information, and also you'll also find information there about AP testing, including a link to the new dates for the tests. We also put that information there because I think we had a question in our last Facebook Live last week about AP testing. And so we have any frequently asked questions are located there. So should you have a question and you're looking for an answer to that, check that out to see if we've answered that question before you send us a question here at the district office or at the school level. So if you don't know, and I'm sure many of you do because you are super informed community and community of partners, we do have, however, a school closure hotline in Richland too. And so if you have questions or concerns and you are not sure who to contact, then you can call the school closure hotline. And so that number is 803-790-3100. You just leave a message. The voice messages are checked regularly from Monday through Fridays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we check those voicemails and we get that question to the appropriate person so that they can reach out to you. Since all employees will be on break next week, we will suspend the monitoring of the messages from April 13 to April 17 in observance of spring break, but we will pick right back up first thing the morning of April 20th. And again, that number is area code 803-790-3100. So that includes all of the updates that I wanted to share with you all, Richland 2 family. And so I'm going to turn to Libby and see if we have any questions. Libby?
Yes, sir. Well, we have a few comments. First, if I may take a little moment to a little personal privilege. My mom texted me just a few minutes ago and said she's watching at her home over in Lexington County, so with my nephew. So I want to say, hey, Mom, and hey, Jackson. Thank you for watching. First thing is Helen Grant, who is our Chief Diversity and Multicultural Inclusion Officer, is reminding us to remember to complete your 2020 census. R2 counts for sure. So if you haven't done that, please take time. I did it the other night, literally less than 10 minutes, and you're sitting at home probably running out of things to do. Complete that census. So our first question comes from Annette Corbin, and she wants to know, how often do teachers record grades? And that really varies, I think, from teacher to teacher. One thing that I've been involved in the academic instruction meetings about the academic plan, and some teachers and schools have been holding off entering some grades while we waited for the guidance from the State Department. I know for our middle schools, in terms of any grades before the closure, we were making sure that our teachers had those entered by April 9th. So really, if you go to Parent Portal right now, the grades you're going to see in there are most likely just for what we did before the closure. Correct, Dr. Davis?
Yeah, so Ms. Corbett, that's a good question. So before we, as we were dealing with COVID-19, we were kind of holding out, closing out the end of the third 9 weeks and finalizing the grades at the end of the third 9 weeks, because we were waiting on guidance from the State Department of Education. And so they've now since provided that guidance to us. And so fortunately for us, because we waited, we were now able to simply make that third 9 weeks grade an interim grade. And so you should be expecting, particularly at the middle and high school levels, as students are turning in assignments, teachers traditionally, the expectation in the district has been that we enter those grades within, by the end of the week or within a week's period. And so you should probably see updates from grades within a week. And I ask that you be a little bit flexible with our teachers as well, because as you know, they are also, as you are as well as a parent, trying to navigate this new way of teaching and learning. And so online grading takes a little bit longer than just your traditional grading. There's a little bit more involved in doing some of the online grading. So I've been asking for grace from all of us, and I've been asking that we all extend grace to one another, and that we all receive grace from one another, and so that we have this real conduit of good energy as it relates to this. We don't want to make this process stressful for parents. We definitely don't want to make this process stressful for our students, and most importantly, we also want to make sure that this process is not stressful for our teachers and administrators. We want to embrace this and look at this as a challenge and something to grow from, and so there probably be some inconsistency in when grades will be entered. But if you have a specific question like that, you could probably shoot an email to that specific teacher and ask, based on what you've seen thus far, how often do you think you would be updating grades for our students, just so that I can be aware of that. Probably like you, I am a parent in this district. I have three students, 2 students in the district, and so I have the parent portal emails that come to my phone every day that kind of gives me an update of the grades. And I've been noticing that most of the time the grades have been issued within a week of the completion of the assignment. I hope that answers your question, Ms. Corbett.
All right. The next one is from Andrea Stevenson. Her daughter is in the 4th grade, and she wants to know how the grades will be given. for our elementary students, and they're kind of broken down by grade level with our elementary students.
Yeah. So it's a great question, Ms. Stevens. That information will be coming out to you from an email from your school's principal. But since we're here in this format and you're going to be receiving that information anyways, what we're looking to do at the elementary levels, particularly the K through 5, is that they'll be receiving more or less a pass-fail. And so we're looking for the students to, particularly the 2nd through the 5th grade students, will also have e-learning, and so they'll be given their information through Google Classrooms or their work through Google Classroom in that format. And so we're looking for those students to complete that. And so at the end of the course of the end of the semester, they're going to receive I believe a pass-fail,
not pass,
not pass,
pass or not pass,
or pass. I should say not failed. It's not pass or pass. And so that's really going to be based on the students getting the work completed. So again, we're going to exercise some grace there. So if there's some challenges with getting the work completed, just let us know so that we can be consistent across the district. That's a great question. Thank you for asking. I hope that I answered it for you.
Yep, I think so. The grades will be in math and English Language Arts. There will be no grades for related arts.
Yeah.
So our next question is, let me scroll down. What will happen if graduations are not able to take place in June? Are any alternatives yet?
Last week I had that same question, and today we did our key leaders meeting with all of our key leaders from across the district, and I said the same thing to them today that I said to you all last week. I am I have really not embraced that yet. I am holding out as long as I can so that we can have a graduation ceremony for our seniors. And so we still have our dates on the book at CLA. We are looking at other dates sometime in the summer. We are looking at other opportunities. I spent some time last night even brainstorming on how could, if for some miraculous reason we had a reversal or some sort of pulling back of the social distancing, and I could guarantee that we could have 6 feet between each person in an outdoor space, what would that look like? And so I have multiple scenarios that I'm running through my head, as well as running by the leadership here at the district level and our principals to ensure that we can do some form of graduation for our students. I haven't given up on that idea yet, and that involves even if we have to push graduation into early August. That is something I'm looking at. We're looking at all options to do that. I strongly feel like it is very important that our students have some form of a traditional graduation experience, and that's regardless of whether they're going into a career in the military or to college. I do not want to rob them of that experience. So we're looking at every opportunity and option. So we haven't called anything on graduation at this time. It is still open.
Okay, next one is from Tiffany Spencer. I've received the remote learning schedule for when school returns after spring break. Will students have to be live with the teacher during the scheduled times?
I'm not sure.
And I think that
question.
Like the middle schools and the high schools, especially, maybe some of the elementary, have set up a time when they will have their class.
Okay.
Kind of different from where we transition, and now in the second part, where some of them have developed a more defined schedule, and so teachers will be on line at that time. And I think the answer is it will probably vary. It certainly, like you said, flexible and reasonable is the words of the month, the year right now. And I think what you need to make sure you do is communicate with your teacher if you can't be there. Is it being recorded? Most of these, I think, can be recorded, and so they will be able to watch it at a later time. But do make sure you know that your teacher knows that your child can't participate, because, Dr. Davis, I'll get you to speak to this. Yep. One of the things that we've stressed to our teachers, if they're not hearing from students, they are checking in on the students. Right. So will you talk about that for a minute? Yeah,
so that's a good question. Thank you for asking that question. Our objective is to, again, as always, to provide our students with a premier educational learning experience, and that experience can take place in this format as well. And so one of the advantages that are of having these set times for the courses to meet is to bring our students back together. We don't want them to operate in isolation and just that this be just a simply remote learning experience where they're not connecting with each other and not experiencing the community feel that comes with learning. But for some reason or another, there may be some challenges with that. And if that is indeed the case, what's going to be the key is just simple communication with the classroom teacher and letting them know what that's going to be like. Are they going to be necessarily penalized if they don't show up? We're not going to take such a drastic route in doing that, but we strongly encourage them to be a part of that educational community during that set time. But things will come up there and that you as the parent has to navigate and adjust at this time. And if you at that time, and if you for some reason the students are not able to participate again, just simply let their teachers know so that they're not reaching out to you and bombarding you with questions or checking in on the students, because we are asking our teachers, who many of them are always concerned about their students and who are want to make sure that they are okay. And so if they don't see them in a class period for a couple days, they're going to reach out to find out what's going on.
All right, we're over the 1:30 time limit, but I do have two more questions that we can get in, I think, and then I'll let you wrap up. And, of course, we don't get to the questions that are coming in now. I'm getting them recorded, and we will get them answered. So this one comes from Ms. Green Palmer. Will those packets, and I'm thinking instructional, the remote learning packets, be graded that the students received?
Great question. Again, so the packets will be counted as completed or not completed. So they will not receive a traditional letter grade for the packet. So there won't be an A, B, C or a D and F assigned or a numerical grade assigned to the packet. What we're going to be looking for is completion of the packets. And so I don't think we probably won't take up the initial first set of packets till after spring break. And so we will review those packets to see if those packets were completed by our students. This will go along with helping us to make the decisions about whether or not it's pass, not pass, a grade that will be assigned for the second semester of the school year.
And last question, I don't think we're going to be able to answer this, but I'm going to throw it out there, and there may be some people from some of the others from the schools listening. Comes from Miss Spencer. Will there be a yearbook distribution? She hadn't purchased one yet, and is it still possible to get one? Her student is an 8th grader, and I know the importance of getting that yearbook when you're an 8th grader. I did see one thing on social media. It was for one of our high schools, but I think it probably still applies at all our schools. Even though school is technically closed, the high school students working on their yearbook were meeting their deadlines. So I think it's probably best thing to do is to check in with your school, send an email to one of your child's teachers and see if they can check for you. If not, feel free to, my email and everything is out there. So email Libby Roof, Miss Spencer, and tell me what school you're at, and I will see what we can find out for you. And with that, Dr. Davis, I'm going to turn it over to you to give our closing remarks. I would like to say, though, real quick, that we had 225 viewers today.
Awesome.
That's about 100 more than we had last time. And just encourage everybody to share this video again with your friends and family so they can watch it if they didn't watch it today. And I'm sure we'll do some more after spring break.
That'd be awesome. Yes, indeed. All right, so just in closing, Richland 2 family, first of all, again, to everyone, to our students, our parents, teachers, employees, our community partners, you all have shown so much resilience, flexibility, and most importantly, grace. This has allowed us to rise to this challenge as a family. And so I can't express my appreciation to you all anymore. I mean, I'm just so thankful and appreciative for all of you. For stepping up to the plate, for digging in, for rolling up your sleeves. I think I heard General Beagle say in a Facebook Live that you can't wring your hands and roll your sleeves up at the same time, and that is just so true. So I just appreciate you all rolling up your sleeves and all digging in to do this heavy lifting. It takes an entire team, an entire family to get us through this. And so you have shown not just grace, but as I shared with our staff this morning, tremendous grit as well in getting this done. And our students are watching us to see how we handle adversity as a community, as a team, as a family. And so we want to demonstrate to them how to appropriately handle challenges and adversity together. And one of the easiest ways to do it is to do it as a team, to do it as a unit, to do it as a family, to not have to tackle anything by yourself. And you don't have to be by yourself. So again, just so appreciative to all of you for all that you've done. Such a big, sincere appreciation to the entire Richland 2 family, again, for just pushing through these difficult times and showing premier determination. It is an amazing thing to watch how quickly as a family, as a team, as a unit, that we were able to transform the educational experiences of our students while maintaining high expectations, while maintaining a premier experience for them. But at the same time, using good common sense, at the same time giving grace where it is needed, at the same time being flexible. All the things that we hope that our children, our students will grow up and do, we have demonstrated that for them, and they have pitched in as well. Our students have been phenomenal, and so thank you all, the entire family, for all that you've done. I ask that while we have an opportunity to break during spring break, that you spend some time to renew your energy and your efforts and focus, but take some time for yourself. And whatever way that you can do that. I know we're a little bit limited in what we can do for spring break here in the state and around the country, but take some time for yourself. Do something that's therapeutic for you, that's not necessarily focused on the challenges of COVID-19, but just some time for yourself, some time for your families. Remember that we are all in this together, and most importantly, stay safe. Appreciate you all, love you all, and have a great spring break. And we'll see you on the other side of the spring break.